Ronnie's Marine Corps 14 is adding a new specialist type, the Pyrotechnician Specialist. So let's go over to your equipment rack, grab your standard marine apparel, and you go over here and to your Pyrotechnician equipment case. This is the sixth weapon specialist that we've gotten so far. You could also buy some incinerator tanks, but we'll go over those in just a minute. You go inside your Pyrotechnician case, and you're going to have Pyrotechnician armor, the helmet, the flexible refueling system, which is actually a backpack. So just put that on your back real fast. The M34T, not to be confused with the normal M34 incinerator unit. A large incinerator tank, a fuel strap pouch, a MK80, some binoculars, and two extinguishers, one portable, one normal size. Now, first order of business, the unique flamer. The M34T is capable of taking unique, large incinerator tanks, which have 240 to the typical storage of 100 units. It's also, if you really needed to, able to take normal incinerator tanks of normal size. It also comes with some unique fuel types, which we're going to get into later. And as you can see, just a normal flamer. You shoot the tank inside, you shoot the flames out. But it's also able to do this. Take the tank out, and fire. What's that? How was I able to fire without a tank inside of my incinerator? Well, if you go over here to your refueling system, which you're able to stash your flamer in, you could inject one of your 3 tanks. You can see there, it drew from tank 1. We're going to get over that in a second. Now, another note. The fueling system, being able to hold your flamer, is actually really, really nice. Because that gives you loads of room. So let's say you want to take a Mark 1 assault rifle. You're able to do that, and then you could also have the room for a ammo load rig, so you could just, shoot a couple bugs, and when you're ready, you could start flaming. Very handy. But we're going to focus more on the flamer rather than a strategies or combos. When this drops, I'm sure plenty of people are going to be making guides. What does this button do? That lets you swap your tank. Now, I just swapped over to the second fuel tank that I have inside my backpack. That's not it. And you might be wondering, what tank did you just swap to? Well, this is one of the new fuel types. And I'm just going to demonstrate to all of you what it could do right here. As you could just see, that is 6 tiles of range, and it also spreads in a 3-width radius. Understandably, that is insane. There's not really much to go about it. That's able to saturate an entire hallway. This is also the perfect fuel type to demonstrate another feature that we have as a pyrotechnician. You can see this button here, Fire Shield, which activates your firewalk protocol. What does this do? Well, first, you put out your flames, you activate the protocol, and now for 6 seconds, you're just able to walk through fire without any downsides whatsoever. You think, oh, wow, that's really good. You're able to walk through fire. Normally, it'll just hurt you horrifically. Don't walk through fire without a firewalker. Maybe unless you really, really need to. Point is, this is very useful if, say, you got a couple Xenos and you want to pursue them, but you don't want to get rid of your flames. So that just lets you keep the initiative and work with your fires much more effectively. As a side note, one of the other benefits, you might have noticed, this flamer is not able to be turned on or off, mainly because it has to accommodate for tank swapping. If you swap to your underbarrel fire extinguisher, and let's just get this as an example, you might notice something. That just took out the fire instantaneously. Even though it was green fire, and that should normally take like 2 extinguishers to take out, the underbarrel fire extinguisher for the M34T is really strong. It'll instantly carve through fire, which is really good if you want to say, oh no, I accidentally just flamed my entire section. You can put them out pretty much instantly. Without, just some major burns across their bodies, which will probably be debilitating. I have yet to go over the third fuel tank, so let's go over that real quick. That is the X fuel tank, and the last one we used was B napalm. So let's do this. That is Napalm X. As you can see, that is doing some intense damage to the enemy. That killed them extremely fast. So, you have, starting out, 3 really good fuels for various purposes. But there's also another thing that this update added, which was custom incinerator tanks. Now, to get these, you need an army lathe. I believe there's a couple things. These are for the ordnance technician, which isn't implemented yet, but that's beside the point. And for the low price of 1.25 sheets of metal, you're able to print out both large and custom incinerator tanks. Normal custom incinerator tanks. Normal ones will store 100 units of fuel, and large ones are 250, which aren't compatible with the normal 34, so just print small ones if you're going to use a normal incinerator. So, what do these new fuel types do or look like? Because these aren't the only new fuel types. We have a couple here. If you go to your guidebook, there is a new section in chemicals for Ordnance Technician Chemicals, and you'll see all of them here. Incinerator fuel, we'll show you the recipes for things like sticky napalm, and you could go down here and you can see precursors, so chlorine trifluoride, sulfuric acid, normal napalm, and then you also see their damage statistics. So sticky napalm will last for 50 with an intensity of 15. High combustion is 45 for 10. Welding fuel, which used to be the same as normal naphthol, is now much worse with 10 for 10. Naphthol is a standard, 30 for 20. B-gel is 7 meters, which is, really should clarify this. B-gel is not the same as B-napalm. So let's just put that into a normal flamer. Turn this on. As you can see, it does not spread like B-gel, while B-gel does spread, and it is ridiculous for the amount of coverage you can get with Napalm B. I'm losing my breath. You have Napalm X, but then you also have other unique things like Napalm E. And that has a special stat here, which says it penetrates the best fire-resistant things. Same goes for Napalm EX and R189. So we'll get into that in a minute. Let's just go over each of these. So we have Napalm EX. That shoots purple fires, which do penetration. We have our sticky napalm. Sort of a cream color. Then we have our... Let's go over to our welding fuel. Looks very similar to naphthol fires, but as you can see, doesn't have the same range. Then there is Napalm E. Making a mess of things here. Which is a much deeper shade of purple. And that it? Welding fuel, naphthol, sticky napalm. That's pretty much it. Well, okay. There's one more, which is R189. No recipe for this. And I believe this is isolated to the SPP's flamethrowers. This burns extremely hot, and it also is capable of penetration. Now, what exactly does penetration do? You might ask. I'm so glad that you asked, dear viewer who cannot listen to me. Or talk to me. I'm losing it. So, if you turn on Firewalker, which normally gives you complete immunity to flames, you might notice, holy crap, I'm taking damage. This is because the flames are penetrating your fire resistance. Now you might think, oh, okay, so that's a bad thing. No, actually, it is not a bad thing. So let's just rejuvenate ourselves real quick. That's a king. Ignore that. Well, that's a king. This is a Xeno that is completely resistant to fire. So let's just shoot it with some normal, non-penetrative fire. It doesn't care. It really just doesn't care. But we swap that out with some R189. And, well, that was my test from earlier. Eventually, it'll start taking damage. Let's hit it a couple times. Die, please. Die, please. There you go. As you can see, it's starting to show signs of damage. The king is only one of the fire-resistant Xenos. Some other ones include Xeno Queens, I believe, and a couple different strains. Sorry. Yeah. That goes over pretty much most of it. So, in summary, the Pyrotechnician kit is probably going to be a very game-changing addition to the UNMC's forces. You'll be able to dominate the battlefield pretty much with your flames in a way that Xenos don't really have only a couple ways to counter. What are they going to do when the entire hallway is just covered in fire? What are they going to do when somebody's walking at you menacingly with a flamethrower? They're going to burn you alive. That's what they're going to do. Well, there is some, I think it's Ravagers that are resistant to fire. But hey, if they come at you with a Ravager that's resistant to fire, just hit them with a freaking EX tank. I don't think you could get EX tanks that easily. These are the big three. So that pretty much summarizes the new Pyrotechnician kit. If I'm missing something, which let's be honest here, I probably am missing something here in my overview. Tell me about it. I'd love to have your corrections in the comments. This was made very much so in a rush. So I hope you have a good day, and I hope you get the chance to test out the new Pyrotechnician kit coming to RMC-14. Don't you love the smell of napalm in the morning?